Hello everybody, my name is Nicola Bertazzo. I'm from engineering group, and today I'm here to show you how to implement continuous delivery using the OW2 infrastructure. I am the team leader of the Spago4Q project, that is a free open source platform to measure and analyze, monitor the quality of product, process, and services. And I work for engineering group for 10 years as a project automation consultant and DevOps consultant. In the last 2 years, I work with Daniele Gagliardi on STAMP project, WP for package. And in this project, I study how to implement continuous delivery using OW2 infrastructure, because OW2 is part of this project. So I think that everybody knows what is continuous integration. Here you can find the definition of Martin Fowler, that is the one of founder of Agile Manifesto. Continuous integration is a practice of extreme programming, where the developer team integrate their work more frequently, usually more than once a day. Normally, every commit trigger a process that build and test the product. I think that most of you use continuous integration using GitLab. Not GitLab, we're using Jenkins, but Jenkins is not the only one tools to use to implement continuous integration. The evolution of continuous integration is the continuous delivery. That is a practice of extreme programming, where the development team prioritize its work to keeping the product deployable over working on new feature. So every time we have a product that is potentially deployable to production environment. And implementing this practice is useful because everyone in the team pushing a button can deploy the product to the environment. So in this chart, you can see the difference between continuous integration. That is the first part, the blue one, where in the server, continuous integration server, check out the code, build, and execute unit test. We can implement it using a continuous integration server like Jenkins. And the next step is implementing continuous delivery. To implement continuous delivery, we have to define a pipeline, so a sequence of steps that can be executed in more than one environment. So in this example, you can see that after the build and test of the project, we will deploy the project in a stage environment where we can perform some acceptance test. This pipeline is triggered every commit of the code, and the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment is that in the continuous delivery, you choose when you want to deploy the product, and you can fire this deployment pushing a button. In the continuous deployment, everything is automatically, and it's a practice that is done by Netflix and Facebook and the main big company. Okay, so to implement this practice, these are the three main requirements. We need to have the source code in a source code management system. We need that our project is built with automatic script. So these scripts can run in the local machine and also in the server. And we need a server and slave to perform this automatic script. So now I show you that this requirement is supported by the OW2 infrastructure. I think that every one of you that has a product in OW2 ecosystem use this infrastructure. And you can see that there is a lot of tools that we can use to support the development of product. And we can find GitLab. GitLab, Nexus, SonarQube, XWiki, and so on. Today I will focus to GitLab. And GitLab is not only a source code management system, but it has also an issue tracker inside, and also an automation server and slave. So today I show you a demo where I will use GitLab of OW2 Infrastructure to implement continuous delivery. So what we can say, and I will prove with my demo, that is the infrastructure of OW2 allows us to implement continuous delivery. So now it's demo time. I record the execution, and I will show you a simple Java web application where this application displays a message and is released as a Docker container. Here you can find the pipeline that I implement using the OW2 infrastructure. So this pipeline is composed of 4 stages. The build stage, where I will check out the source code. I will build the code using Maven and the script, and I will execute unit test. This is the continuous integration part. After that, I will execute and publish the Docker image of my application, and I will deploy this image in staging environment and production environment. You can imagine that this stage will execute in different environments. So we need to configure at least 4 agents. One agent to implement the continuous integration, the green one, Maven 339. One agent that build the image and publish the image in the repository. And one agent for every environment to deploy this image as a container in the target environment. So I will show you how to do that. Okay, this is our infrastructure. Is the OW2 GitLab instance. This is a demo project that I use for this purpose. And in the setting, you can find the CD menu. In this menu, you can go to Run Settings, Runner Settings, where you can find all the information to configure the agent that we need to implement the continuous delivery pipeline. So here you can find all the information that you need to set up the agent. So you need to execute GitLab runner and configure the agent. Now I will show you that I configure only 2 agents. One agent is the first one that I will use to perform the continuous integration part. And I will use the information that you can find in the OW2 website. Okay. I put a description of my agent, that is Maven 339. And the more important part is to assign a tag that I will use in the definition of the pipeline. I will choose that the agent is a Docker image and will run as a container. And I use Maven 339 JDK8 as image to perform the continuous integration part. After that, I will configure another agent to build, publish, and deploy the the Docker image of my application. So I call this agent Docker build, and I will assign 4 tags. That is the tags that I will use to implement the first stage that I showed before. This agent run in my local machine and will use the tools that is present on my local machine. So I use it as I configure it as a shell. So now I configure these 2 agents, and these 2 agents we can find that is present also in the GitLab OW2 website. Okay. Here you can see Docker build and Maven 339. So now we are ready to define the pipeline. Okay, the definition of pipeline is very simple, and I described before. In the Maven 339 agent, I will execute the continuous integration part, so I will package the project. In the Docker build, I will perform the build of the Docker image, and I will push in a registry. After that, I will use Docker run to push to check the image and run as a container in the staging environment. All this information is defined in the GitLab project. In a simple file, YAML file, where you can define, as in a GitLab, in a Jenkins pipeline, the configuration as a code of our pipeline, where I define the first stage, and I execute the script that I described before in the agent with tag Maven 339. After that, I will execute a registry in the agent tag Docker build, and I will build the image. After that, I will deploy the image in the staging, and only for the master branch I will display a manual step that asks for deploy to production. So we have defined the pipeline. Now we are at we can see the execution of the pipeline. Okay, so now in the execution of pipeline, I will change my application. So I will change a file where I will change the default name, and my application will display this name. So I will change the default name to OW2con'18. After that, I will commit this change in a new branch that is hello OW2 branch. Okay. And I ask a merge request to the master branch. Okay, before to perform and finish the merge request, you can see here that the pipeline is starting. And as you can see here, is performing only 3 stages because we are not in the master branch, but is in the hello branch. So now it execute it compile and test my application in the Maven 339 agent. After that, he published the artifact to the Docker, to the GitLab instance. He build the image and publish the image to the registry. And after that, it will deploy the application to the staging environment. Okay. So as you can see, the pipeline executes in the right way, and the state is passed. And now in the environment section, we can see that we have the deploy the application in the staging environment. So we can see that the application has the default name hello OW2con'18. Okay. So now we have seen the first execution of the pipeline. And now when we finish integrate the request in the master branch, okay, we will see the execution of the full pipeline. So also the production part. And it's very similar of the step that I just showed to you. Okay, the pipeline is starting in the master. And as you can see, we have 4 stages, not only the 3 as before. We have the build, the registry, the deploy to staging, and deploy to production. So now it executes. I speed up in the video because it takes some minutes. Okay, at the end, we have the play button that allows us to publish the image as a container in production environment. Okay. After that, we have performed the last step of the pipeline, and we have published the application in production environment. So, as I show to you in this demo, I'm using the feature of GitLab that is present in the OW2 infrastructure, and we can use this GitLab to implement continuous delivery in our project. So it's very cool for us. And we will integrate all the stamp tools also in this pipeline. So I finished, and thank you for your attention.